Cold Earth Slept Below by Percy Bysshe Shelley, 1792 to 1822. The cold earth slept below, above the cold sky shone, and all around with a chilling sound from caves of ice and fields of snow, the breath of night like death did flow beneath the sinking moon. The wintry hedge was black, the green grass was not seen, the birds did rest on the bare thorn's breast, whose roots beside the pathway track had bound their folds o'er many a crack, which the frost had made between. Thine eyes glowed in the glare of the moon's dying light, as a fen-fire's beam on a sluggish stream gleams gently. So the moon shone there, and it yellowed the strings of thy tangled hair that shook in the wind of night. The moon made thy lips pale, beloved, the wind made thy bosom chill, the night did shed on thy dear head its frozen dew, and thou didst lie where the bitter breath of the naked sky might visit thee at will. Okay, this is a poem by Percy Shelley. Let's see, Shelley was a British romantic poet. He was born in West Sussex, which is between London and Brighton. His father was a lord and a member of parliament. He came from a very rich family. He went to Eton and to University College, Oxford. Shelley was a rebel, a revolutionary, a radical. Now, what's this poem about? Well, this poem is about the speaker on a frozen night where dark is falling and everything is frozen, and he sees a light and he goes towards it, and this turns out to be the dead body of a woman that he knows. Now, Shelley's life was full of different things. Let's see. I think when he was 20, he married a girl called Harriet, who was 16. But the relationship was not very successful, and he met Mary, who was Mary Wollstonecraft's daughter, and she was called Mary Godwin, and he fell in love with her. Anyway, his wife committed suicide, and then a couple of weeks after the suicide of Harriet, his wife, he married Mary Godwin, who then became Mary Shelley, the writer of Frankenstein. Now, it's said there is quite a lot of controversy about this poem, about who this is about. Now, this poem was actually published after Shelley's death by Mary Shelley, but they say that she changed the date on it. But apparently this poem was written in 1816 in December, just after his wife Harriet had committed suicide. Although, let's see, this poem may be about the death of of his wife, or it may also be about the death of Fanny Imlay, who was another daughter of Mary Wollstonecraft, and she was the half sister of Mary, who he married, because they say that she was in love with him as well. But so anyway, be who to who it may be, there's clearly somebody walking in this dream world of ice where they find a dead body. I will leave it up to you to decide who the body is. So the cold earth slept below, above the cold sky shone. So we've got this image of this frozen world, and the sky above is shining, but it's cold, and the earth is asleep. It's the deepest part of midwinter. And all around, with a chilling sound, from caves of ice and fields of snow, the breath of night like death did flow beneath the sinking moon. So I think there's a moon, the moon is going down. So I think it's night, but it's getting darker and darker. And there's the chilling sound of the breath of night, the chilling sound of the wind at night, and there's death all around. And this wind, it's come from caves of ice over the snowfields, and this is chilling you to the bone. So this frozen darkness, scene of darkness, and it's slowly getting darker and darker. The wintry hedge was black, the green grass was not seen. So there's a hedge, but the hedge is black completely. And the grass, you can't see the grass. I think the grass is probably completely frozen. The birds did rest on the bare thorn's breast. So I think the birds are clinging to a branch, but there are no leaves. You can just see the bare thorns of this thorn tree. And this thorn tree, whose roots beside the pathway track had bound their folds o'er with many a crack, which the frost had made between. And there's a pathway, and I feel that the speaker is going down this pathway, and there's this thorn tree, and the path has been cracked in various places by the frost, by the cold, and the roots of this thorn tree are mixed into the cracks of this path. So we've got this dark scene, and this bare thorn tree with no leaves, so it's the middle of winter, and this feeling of frost and cold, and these tangled roots. Thine eyes glowed in the glare of the moon's dying light. So your eyes, we've suddenly got some eyes. We don't know whose eyes these are yet, but these are glowing. They're a pair of glowing eyes, and they're maybe reflecting the moon, which is disappearing. When the moon disappears, it's going to get very, very dark indeed. As a fen-fire's beam on a sluggish stream gleams dimly, so the moon shone there. So a fen-fire, this is a will-o'-the-wisp, ignis fatuus. These are lights which are very often seen over boggy or marshy areas or swampy areas, and this is very often, I think nowadays they say it comes from methane that comes out of the bog, out of the fen, and suddenly ignites. And these have been talked about as ghosts, or something to lead people to a place, or something to that is impossible to reach. These are little tiny little bits of shiny fire that appear and go, and this is the simile that the shine in her eyes is like one of these flashes from a fen-fire, and it's reflecting on a stream of water. It's reflecting off, and the moon is still shining on this, and it yellowed the strings of thy tangled hair that shook in the wind of night. So there is the yellow hair of somebody. So there's a shine in the eyes and the yellow hair, and in a minute we're going to find out that this is clearly the dead body of a woman. But so we've got the wind blowing her tangled hair, her tangled yellow hair, and a little shine from her eyes. The moon made thy lips pale, beloved. So clearly this is a dead body. And the moon, I think when she's alive, her lips are red, and the speaker loves this person. But, well, as Shelley was in love with many different people, we don't know who she is. This might be Harriet, but this could be one of many other people as well. As I said, there was this Fanny who also committed suicide a little bit earlier than this. The wind made thy bosom chill, the night did shed on thy head its frozen dew. So there's this body lying on the ground, and this body is cold. Your breast, your bosom is cold, and the dew, the water, or the frozen dew, the ice is freezing on this body. And thou didst lie where the bitter breath of the naked sky might visit thee at will. So it gives this image of this body lying on this flat place where the wind, the bitter breath of the naked sky, where this cold wind is blowing over you at will. So I think the wind blows and then it stops and then it blows again. So I think this poem is just creating this eerie, frightening scene of death, this frightening world, and it brings us to this dead body. And I think this poem is almost like a horror story. I think maybe this itself is some sort of echo of Frankenstein written by his wife. So anyway, The Cold Earth Slept Below by Percy Bysshe Shelley.